Daniel Cormier believes everyone but Tony Ferguson acknowledges that it's time for him to retire. Ferguson, 25-10 MMA, 15-8 UFC, suffered his 7th consecutive loss to Paddy Pimblett this past Saturday at UFC 296, tying B.J. Penn's record for most consecutive losses in the UFC. Cormier has stated in the past that he'd like to see Ferguson hang up his gloves and reiterated that sentiment once more. Tony Ferguson would seem to be done, Cormier said on his ESPN show, DC and RC. Call it what it is. Cormier thinks the issue lies with Ferguson himself. Most people, including UFC CEO Dana White, have urged the former interim lightweight champion to retire, but El Kukai refuses to give in. Ferguson posted a statement on his Instagram stories after his loss to Pimblett, telling his fans to keep the faith and that he's not retiring. I believe that Tony Ferguson should retire, Cormier said. I really try to limit trying to show a man the door because nobody knows when someone's done until they know that they're done. Only Tony knows when it's time, but it seems as though he's the only one left that isn't sure. Everybody else feels pretty certain that that time has come for Tony Ferguson. Ferguson sought help from former Navy SEAL David Goggins, who was in his corner against Pimblett. In his post-fight reaction octagon side, Cormier revealed that Goggins indicated that Ferguson is likely done, but Cormier isn't buying it. Many didn't even expect Tony Ferguson to go 15 minutes, so hats off to Tony for doing that, Cormier said on his YouTube channel. But David Goggins, who cornered him at UFC 296, came up to us at the end of the fight and said, Tony may retire after this. And I said, well, is he? He goes, I don't know. But we gave our opinions and said, maybe it is time for Tony to retire. While his heart and his mind are still telling him to go, I don't necessarily know if his timing is still where it needs to be because for a short period of time in those fights, you see the old Tony Ferguson. But as time goes on, he isn't the same guy.